We talked about something around this idea of gratitude. It's really been our anchor. You think about the holiday season, we're moving into Thanksgiving and in and around that time, man. It's the time for us to really be grateful for everything that God has done for us. And so we've really been leaping from this passage in Luke chapter 17, verse 17. I want to give that to you really quickly. Jesus asked, didn't I heal 10 men? Where are the other 9? Didn't I heal 10? Where are the other 9?
Yes.
Jesus is looking at only one brother who came back to say thank you. And he's trying to figure out where in the world are the other 9. We talked about 9 glitches of gratitude. This idea that these 9 men might somehow represent 9 glitches or 9 unhealthy characteristics that can get in the way of our gratitude. All right. I really want to dive into that because we talked about the principle of gratitude, And this was so good, Pastor D. The principle of gratitude suggests that what I have is just as valuable as what I want. That so many times we overlook what we already have because we're so focused on what we want. I think that's good. Most people struggle with gratitude, Pastor D. And I want you to jump in here because of 2 questions, right? It's 2 questions. What do I have? And what do I want?
And I think that's a great place to start because most of us, if we were to ask everyone on the stream right now, what do you want? They can fill up the stream quick, talking about what they want.
That's good.
But when you ask, what do you have? It'll make you have pause. Because sometimes we tend to overestimate what we want and underestimate what we have. I don't know who it is, whether it's in this circle sitting down or on the stream right now, but in this season, especially during Thanksgiving, this is why I love the holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of that. It makes you demonstrate or exercise the power of reflection.
That's good. That's good.
That's the power of reflection.
That's good.
And when you're able to reflect, it makes you have a deeper sense of appreciation, not just for what you want, not just for what you lost, but what you have left.
That's good. Pastor James, you gave us something the last time that we were together for midweek. And guys, we've been here at the house, beautiful Airbnb, man. We're locked in. It's right off a golf course. We came here, brought the praise team in to get us into the presence of God. We're trying to record as much content as we can because we understand that as we move through the holiday season, you've got a pandemic. You've got an election that's just went crazy. I mean, there's so much uncertainty. Do we have a vaccine? When is it going to be ready? Is it going to work? There's so much going on right now that many of us need help to cope with some of the unhealthy emotions that can kind of rear its ugly head during the holidays. And when we talked about this idea of gratitude, Pastor James, you talked about this idea of how we'll focus on what we've lost instead of what we have left. Can you give us that?
I think a lot of times we magnify our problems. I can remember in science class, we have a microscope. And what we would do, we would place something that we couldn't really see visibly with the naked eye. We would place it under a lens and we would block out everything else around us and we would just hone in on that one thing. And I think that's what happens a lot of times that causes us from being grateful is many times we hone in just on what we've lost. We hone in on just what, what setbacks we've had, and we refuse to look at all of the blessings that are around us. There's so many things that we have to be grateful for what we have now, but we're so focused on looking at the one thing that we don't have, it causes us to be ungrateful.
Absolutely, man. I agree. I think we magnify our problems and we minimize what's already going right in our life.
I got a word.
Come on, man.
I got a word.
Come on, man.
I got a word. What you magnify, you get more of. And
that's
many
good.
times.
No. Hold up. No. You already know.
We're gonna run it back.
Come on.
What you magnify, you get more of.
That's good, man.
And many times we can do a great job magnifying our problems.
Yes. Wow.
When many times we need to learn how to magnify our purpose, our promise, God's promises. I believe it was the psalmist that said, "Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt His name together." In other words, when you magnify something, you make it bigger. You make it bigger. And when you learn the principle of magnifying, you'll learn how to stop telling your problems about God. And now you can say, God, here are my problems. I know you're bigger than it.
That's so good. I think that's so strong. Listen, we dove into these 9 glitches of gratitude, and I really want to take us to that because we believe there's 9 things that can get in the way of you being as grateful as you should be. Number one, all right, here's one of the first glitches. And you got some notes. I want you to open up your notebook, open your phone, your notes in your phone, so you can really walk through this with us. The first glitch in our gratitude is entitlement.
Yes.
Entitlement suggests that I demand things that I have not earned. I demand things that I have not earned. When I'm entitled, I'll assume, arrogantly so, that I deserve things now that, truth be told, I haven't earned, or I deserve more when I haven't shown God gratitude for what he's already done. I really want to sit there for a second. Entitlement says, God, I deserve more, even though I haven't properly thanked you for what you've already done.
Wow. It's like the 9 lepers, since that's where the glitches are coming from. It's like, I believe we talked about it, where it's like they had seen other people who had been healed. Yes. And so it's like, listen, we talked about maybe one of them had been for 12 years, maybe had leprosy. And it's like, listen, I'm entitled to this healing. Like, I'm not going to go back and tell God, thank you. When I should have never gotten leprosy in the first place. Wow. And so why me? No, why not you? And a lot of time I think we refuse or we forget to tell God thank you because we feel like this is what I'm entitled to. No. Listen, you can't put a value on good health. You know, if you have breath in your body, that's reason enough to tell God thank you.
Absolutely.
If you're breathing on your own, you're not entitled to that. So I think entitlement, and you look at the lepers, it's like, okay, maybe they felt like that was what they were owed. And they hadn't earned it, but they were owed it.
That's some of the most toxic relationships you'll ever have is with entitled people.
Yes.
When you give people access into your life, and instead of them appreciating, they start to begin to feel entitled to it.
That's good. That's good. I think that's so good when we talk about unhealthy relationships. Because I think one of the things we got to wrestle with, especially in this holiday season, is realizing we always talk about who's toxic for us, and we don't spend enough time reflecting on who we're toxic for. Can we go there? Let's go ahead and stop playing.
Let's sit there.
Listen, we're going to get better. If we're going to get healthy. Health for the holiday. Healthy, emotional life principles. Listen, we may not shout a lot during this series, but I believe we're going to go into the new year better, stronger, wiser, and more ready to handle what God is trying to do. We spend so much time talking about what's toxic for us that we don't spend enough time looking in the mirror and trying to figure out, okay, cool, who am I toxic for?
Wow. That's not enjoyable. It's beneficial.
Come on now, wait.
Looking at the man in the mirror may not be enjoyable.
But it's beneficial.
But it's beneficial.
That is so
good.
When was the last time you took a hard look at yourself and said, you know what? I think I'm entitled. It complicates the relationship with somebody else. Think about, even in my relationship with my daughter, I have 2 beautiful daughters. I thank God for Ava, who's 6, Allison, who's almost 2 months, man. I thank God for 2 beautiful little girls. My oldest, Ava, she's been the only child for 6 years. And you guys know how that is. She gets whatever she wants. On my side of the family, she was the only grandchild. She was the only grandchild. None of my siblings have any children. And so for 6 years, not only was Ava the only child, but she also was the only grandchild. All right. I really want you to grab that. Not only was she the only child, but she also was the only grandchild, all right? And because of that, I believe she's gained somewhat of a sense of entitlement. Right? Somewhat of a sense of entitlement. She's used to getting everything she wants, having everything she wants, whenever she wants, right? And if we're not careful, that's how we'll treat God.
Wow. Yes.
We'll treat God as though we're the only one.
Oof.
You know what's amazing is, I think we said it in the message. Entitlement is an infection. Only blessed people got it.
Yes, that's good.
And when you make me look, when we talk about entitlement, you have to deal with the fact of many times we exercise reckless generosity. Which is why God doesn't give us everything that we want.
That's good.
Because sometimes if He gives us everything that we want, we'll get stuff without being processed. And unprocessed people become ungrateful people. I'm going to say that again.
Come on, man.
Unprocessed people become ungrateful people.
That is so good.
And there are some ungrateful people in our lives. There's some ungrateful seasons when we've been ungrateful because we never endured a process.
One of the things I want to speak to is making sure that we're not enablers of entitlement. And so a lot of times, even in our relationship,
run that back.
We got to make sure that we're not enablers of entitlement. A lot of times we can prematurely give people something too soon.
Yeah.
And they're not able to handle that. And then as a result, you feed this monster called entitlement.
Yeah.
And so we got to make sure that we're using wisdom, that
Yeah.
we're not giving stuff too soon.
Yeah.
And now you have most disappointments in your life is because people expect something from you that they shouldn't expect it. We have this entitlement has this type of attitude that says you owe me something.
Yeah.
You always owe me something. So
That's it.
we got to be careful not to feed entitlement.
That's good. All right. So number one, we've got entitlement. All right. Number two is ignorance. This is good. Ignorance suggests that I don't know any better, therefore I struggle to do any better.
Yeah.
I want to take you guys to Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge. I'll never forget talking about my daughter Ava. She's growing up. And as a little child, people will give her a gift. Somebody will buy her this, buy her that. We'll go into a store, somebody give her a cookie, whatever it may be. And I have to look at her and say, what are you supposed to say?
Yeah.
And I think many times when it comes to God, he has to do us the same way.
Yeah.
He has to train us in gratefulness, right? Because many of us, if you're not careful, you'll assume that this is just the way life is supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you no, this is just who I am. And many times God has to take our ignorance and say, you know what? I've got to train you to be grateful. Number one, we've got entitlement. Number two, we've got ignorance. Yeah. Here's where it got crazy.
Yeah.
Number three, immaturity.
Yeah.
Immaturity says, I shrink people, places, and things to the size of my soul.
Yeah.
That is so good. When you're immature, you'll take a big blessing and you'll reduce it to the size of your soul. Immaturity is not about age, right?
Yeah.
See, we think part of the reason why you're disappointed is because you think everybody who's got some age should be mature.
It goes back to what Dallas Willard said. That's the issue with most Christians. They want to grow old without growing up.
That's good.
Yeah.
And when you look
Oh
at
man, wait. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Many times,
Say that
most
again,
Christians struggle because they grow old without growing up.
That's good.
And so they get saved, but what happens is they never experience transformation.
Yeah.
When Jesus didn't just die to save you.
Wow.
He lived to lead you.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
And
good.
so it's one of those things to where we confess with our mouth that he's our savior, but also we have to confess that he's our Lord. Lord means leader.
Yeah.
And many times we get saved
That's
and
good,
never
D.
allow God to take the lead.
You just shifted this, all right?
Yeah.
Growing old as opposed to growing up, all right?
Yeah.
I don't know who this is for. I pray you can receive this. Two words you need to drop in the comment section. Grow up.
Grow up.
Yeah.
The next time you're tripping, see, we want to talk about when somebody else tripping. The next time you tripping, I need you to look yourself in the mirror and say, grow up.
You know something that's important here as we talk about these glitches, though, because many times when you deal with these hard conversations like this, people feel as if, or we can even feel as if we're demonizing someone when really we're just humanizing someone.
Yes.
We all have these human toxic traits that we struggle with, which is what we're calling glitches.
Yes.
But most of the time, we want to present the gifted us instead of the glitched us. Because we all have a glitch.
Gifted and glitched.
Yes, sir.
That is so good. Gifted and glitched.
Yes.
You're gifted, but you got a glitch.
You got a glitch.
That is so good. What I love about God is that even though I'm glitched, he'll still use my gift.
Yes.
I think I need to say that again. Even though I'm glitched,
My
I thank
God.
him that he'll still. All right, when was the last time you told God thank you that he still used you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So many times we look past that and we develop this sense of entitlement that somehow God should use us. Like you're the only one who can sing. You're the only one who can preach. You're the only one who can pray. I thank God that he used me even though I was glitched.
Glitches
Come
and
on
all.
now.
Yeah.
Immaturity. Immaturity says that I shrink people, places, and things to the size of my soul.
Yeah.
See, when your soul is underdeveloped, so will your perspective. Your perspective will be just as underdeveloped as your soul.
Yes.
And so you'll end up seeing things the wrong way because you see through the lens of your soul.
Yeah.
And so when your soul is unhealthy, God will give you a blessing. You'll mismanage it because you're ungrateful.
Ungrateful.
It makes me think about what Paul said in Galatians, how he talks about how an heir is no different from a slave.
Yeah.
Even though he owns the whole estate. it.
Yes.
He cannot possess it or have it.
That's good.
Until he grows up.
That's good.
And many times we don't even realize our immaturity is blocking our inheritance.
Yeah.
We shout over harvest.
Yes.
When really there's an inheritance that we should be receiving while we're on earth.
Yeah.
Harvest is about what you do.
Yeah.
Inheritance is about who you become.
Yes.
And many times we get so busy trying to do something so that we can get something. When if you just become the right person, you don't have to chase blessings.
That's good. That's good. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. We memorized this scripture growing up. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I reasoned like a child. Let's come back to that. When I became a man, I put away the ways of childhood. I put it behind me.
Yeah.
He says, I reasoned like a child. He's talking about my mental capacity. I thought like a child.
Right? Yeah.
When I sat down and make decisions, I weighed my options like a child, right? Think about biblical good, right? I reasoned like a child. Biblical good. Biblical good suggests that God wants to give us things that are not just enjoyable, but also what? Beneficial.
Yeah.
But when you reason like a child, you don't reason for what's beneficial. Yeah. You decide based upon what's enjoyable.
Yeah. Yes.
Curtis, I'm tripping right here.
Come on.
Because it's showing us when it says he that is in Christ is a new creature, behold, old things are passed away. And it's making me think about most of the time we're not struggling with the old us. We're really just struggling with the immature us.
That's good.
Yeah.
And so it's making me think about when it comes to these 9, I wonder who struggled with this glitch.
Yeah.
Because when you struggle with this glitch of immaturity, you can get blessed and say, yeah, I deserved it. Yeah, he could have been showed up. I didn't have to suffer this long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because when you're immature, you play victim.
That's good. That's so good. I think that's so good. And I think it gives us a lens into the fourth thing that we talked about, the fourth glitch in our gratitude, which is impatience.
My God.
Impatience. I think this is loaded. Impatience means I irrationally pursue blessings prematurely, right? I irrationally pursue blessings immaturely. When you think about somebody who's impatient, many times, and we talked about this, that person is trapped in comparison. I heard Pastor Mike say this, it was beautiful. I'll never forget it. He said, Hollis, don't compete, don't covet, and don't compare.
Yeah. Right.
Don't compete, don't covet, and don't compare. The impatient person compares where they are to where they think they should be. See, we think that comparison only means me comparing myself to you. But many times you're comparing where you are to where you think you should be. And so I can't be grateful over what God is doing in my life today because I'm 10 years down the road. And I'm comparing where I think I should be to where I am. Here's the problem with comparison. And we said this before, I want to say it again. Comparison is a lose-lose game.
Yeah.
Killer.
Because if I win comparison, that means I become prideful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm better than them. But they ain't got nothing on me.
Yeah.
If I lose, I become insecure.
Yeah.
Why? It's like God what's wrong with me? Why I don't have it? And the quickest way to kill something special is to compare it to something else.
Yeah.
That's so true.
And I think when we're ungrateful, you'll kill the joy you should have in what God is doing in your life because you're so busy comparing it to something else.
Yeah.
And I think the quote of the day when we were talking about this on Sunday was impatience is an enemy to our increase.
Yeah, that's good.
That was good.
I'm going to say that again.
That was good.
Impatience is an enemy to our increase. In other words, Jesus healed 10 lepers. Yeah. And what if some of them had a glitch of impatience that they were in a rush to go and see what they thought they were missing out on, that they didn't turn back around to come and tell the one that blessed them,
that's so good.
Thank you.
Here's something you could put in your notes. When you rush, you
ruin
it.
Yes, come on, guys.
When you rush, you ruin it. I
Yeah.
don't know who this is for. I pray somebody can receive this. I've ruined enough stuff in my life.
Yes, sir.
Rushing.
Yes.
I've ruined enough relationships rushing.
Yes.
I've ruined enough opportunities rushing. I remember putting together a toy for my daughter, and in a rush, I didn't want to take the time to look at the instructions.
Yeah.
So instead, I looked at the box, thinking I'd be able to eyeball it and put this together without looking at the instructions.
Yes.
Only to build something that ultimately was unable to fulfill its purpose because I rushed. And now I'm mad at the toy because it ain't working right. When truth be told, I rushed putting it together.
Right.
Many of us are rushing to put our career together.
Yeah.
We're rushing to put our education together.
Yeah.
You're rushing to put relationships together. And when you rush, you ruin it.
Yeah, and I think that's why God builds waiting into our life to deepen us and to teach us patience. Even if you look at the prodigal son, he rushed it. He was impatient. He didn't want to wait. He wanted his now.
That's good.
And he ended up ruining it.
That's good. That's so good. Many times you'll demand something that, truth be told, you're not ready for it.
Oof. Yeah.
Many times a blessing is only a blessing when it's in the right hands.
Yeah.
Because what can be a blessing in one person's hand can be a burden in somebody else's.
Yes. And that's why it's important to not covet and compare.
Yes.
Because you don't know the preparation, the process that person went through to prepare them to be able to handle what you're not ready to handle yet. So it's like, I want your anointing, but at the end of the day, I don't want to go through what you went through to get that anointing.
That's so good.
That's so good.
Yeah. I remember being in college and I wanted an Infiniti Q45. I saw one. I just said, man, I wanted an Infiniti. It was black, had gold trim. I had pledged Alpha, so I thought I needed a black and gold car. Just stupid. I wanted an Infiniti. Mind you, I was driving, I think like a Saturn at the time, throwing a little, 87 gas in it, getting the oil changed twice a year, just it'll run forever. And I remember getting this Infiniti, and I went to the gas station, ignorantly, I put 87 grade gasoline in an Infiniti. Oof. By the time I got halfway down the street, that car was stalling, it was sputtering, it was making noise because I realized that I wanted something that, truth be told, I wasn't ready to handle. Wow. I didn't know how to maintain what I had been given.
That's good.
I didn't know what it took to keep it going, what it took to keep it running. And many times when you're impatient, you'll overestimate your ability to handle something.
Yes, I don't just want to get it, I want to keep it.
That's good. Because God doesn't give you what you want, he gives you what you can manage.
Yes.
Yeah.
He does not just give you what you want, he gives you what you can manage. And many times, God will withhold things from you because, truth be told, your gratefulness or ungratefulness lets him know what you can and cannot manage.
Yeah, come on.
I think that's so good.
That's real.
What you can and cannot manage. Jump in there.
So it's making me think about how I said it I think Sunday when I injured my leg.
Yeah.
And I injured my leg, but I was in such a rush when I was playing football. I was in such a rush to get back on the field because I wanted to go to the NFL and make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I was in such a rush rehabbing my leg that I was not ready.
That's so good.
And because I wasn't ready or my leg wasn't ready, I began to overcompensate on my strong leg.
Yeah. That's so good.
Eventually breaking my strong leg. In other words, it made me think about what have I broke in other areas of my life because I couldn't wait.
That's good. That's good.
So in other words, you'll leave or get your heart broken in one relationship and jump into another relationship. And because you rushed into that relationship, you keep having a cycle of broken relationships because you keep rushing.
That's why you can't pursue. That's why you can't pursue without permission.
Come on, guys.
And when you were talking about your injury,
he was ready for that.
Yes, sir.
Well, when he was talking about his injury, I remember Kevin Durant in the playoffs. I remember the Warriors, he got injured. And so I began to think about, God, I thank you for the times that you kept me out the game. Because a lot of people were blaming the Warriors.
What do you think about?
Go back. For the times he kept me out the game when I wanted to play. Because if you think about it, they say when Kevin, of course, he came back in the playoffs and he ended up getting hurt even further, which ended him for the rest of the season. And even now he's still, rehabbing. But I was just beginning to think about how many times we want to rush back. But God says, no, not yet. You're not ready yet. I know you think you're ready to get I know it's the playoffs. I know you want to shine, but it's not your time.
That's so good.
Pastor Hollis, I know we got 3 tools we want to give people that help for fixing the glitches. And I know the first one, because we don't just want to tell them about the glitches. We want to tell them how we can fix it.
Absolutely.
So the first thing you have to do is face your faults.
That's good.
I like that.
Face your faults. In other words, God will never fix what you're not willing to face.
That's so good.
It's our job to face it.
Yes.
It's his job to fix it.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. I want to say this out there. He can't do his job until you do your job. It's your job to face it.
Yes.
It's his job to fix it. One thing I learned is that many things go unaddressed because we allow them to go undetected.
Yes.
It's impossible to address something that you won't do the work to diagnose first.
Yes.
That's so good.
The first thing that has to happen with change is self-awareness.
Wow.
And I think, so one of the defense mechanisms or defenses to accountability is denial. And I think until you can first be self-aware of this is an issue for me, this is my fault, God can never fix it.
Come on, I want you to go back. You said one of the defenses, break that down
defenses to accountability.
Yes.
So one of the things that stops us from being accountable is denial. It's denial, it's minimizing, it's justifying. Those things stop us from being accountable. It's always somebody else's fault. Yes. No, it's not my issue. But when you can say, listen, when you take the defenses to accountability out and stop denying and stop minimizing and stop justifying, that's when God can really do the work in you.
Face it.
That's so good. You got to face it.
Face your faults.
Number one, face your faults. I want you to take really good notes here. Number one, you've got to face your faults. We all have glitches in our gratitude. This is not the beat you up church. This is the pick you up church.
Yeah.
We're trying to give you some help for the holidays, some healthy, emotional life principles. You can grow and become better. We're all in this thing together. If we're going to become who God has called us to be, the first thing we've got to do is we've got to face our faults. Look at Luke 12:2 in the Message Bible. It says, you can't keep your true self hidden forever. Before long, you'll be exposed. You can't hide behind a religious mask forever.
There it is. There it is.
Sooner or later, the mask will slip and your true face will be known. I'm getting ready to sit something in your lap, and I know you can receive this. Since we've been in this COVID-19 space, everybody's wearing a what?
Mask.
A mask. Yeah. I'll be in the store and I'll see somebody and I'll be like, I think that's such and such. And they'll be looking at me like, I think that's Hollis. And I'll be looking at them like, I think that's them. I ain't gonna say nothing though, because I don't know if that's them, right?
Yeah.
What if God looks at us the same way? I'm getting ready to bless you.
I think
you got that mask. I want to bless Darius, but I don't know if that's him.
Can I jump in there?
Come on, man, help me.
Because God can never heal who you hide.
Oh my God, that's good.
And it makes me wonder, what are the areas of your life that you keep putting a mask on?
Come on, man.
Wow.
That's so good.
And the issue with that is that we like to come to God in our strength.
Yeah.
When it's our weakness.
Comes
Because
in your
strength is not
weakness.
made perfect in our strength.
Come on.
His strength is made perfect in our weakness.
That's
we like
good.
to bring our strength to God.
Hey, man, run that back. Come on, James. Come on, man.
His strength is not made perfect in our strength. His strength is made perfect in our weakness. We always want to bring God our strength. God said, no, bring me your weakness, and that's when you'll be made strong.
That is so good. That's so good.
I'm reminded of a analogy that Bishop used one time. He was saying, the way our iPhone is made up, especially this new feature, this facial feature.
Recognition.
You know, when you look into the phone, and I just learned this because I just upgraded my phone. I had a 6 for so long.
Hey, welcome to the club, man. We're so glad to have you, man.
Hey. But you know, I'm happy to be. But I've learned this feature that it won't work if you got a mask on.
Wow.
You know, so I had my mask on one particular day. I was trying to get into my phone. Hold up. And so, because
you said something that can preach itself.
God. But hear me though. Because a lot of our blessings, the next level that God has for us, is hindered because of the mask that we wear. And we don't understand how it holds us back from what the blessings and your blessing looking for you. Yeah. But you're so busy wearing a mask and looking like something else, your blessing can't find you. And that's one of the things that we got to be aware of when we wear these masks and when we present ourselves as something that we're really not.
I know we're about to shift to the second one, but we have to deal with like the shame that can keep you bound from fixing your faults. Or the passive aggressiveness that can keep you bound from confronting yourself.
That's good.
Wow. That's so good. What you just said, Kurt, really blessed me though, this idea that your phone won't unlock if you got that mask on your face.
Nah, Doc.
It's some things in your life that are going to remain locked. Access is going to continue to be denied until you take the mask off.
Oof.
Yeah. I think that's so good. Number one, you got to face your faults, all right? 3 tools to fixing your glitches and your gratitude. Number one, face your faults. Number 2, filter your feelings. Filter your feelings. This is good, Pastor D. Filter means to remove unwanted material. We were talking about you having some sinus problems and some stuff going on at the house.
Yes, sir.
I want you to talk about that. It was so good. This was a one-on-one conversation. We're going to bring them in on it.
So earlier we were talking about, I was telling Hollis and I think Pastor Curtis and Pastor James on how I realized I was having allergies around the same time of the year every year. And my wife looked at me and said, maybe you need to check the filters.
Wow.
And I went and checked the filters and I realized they needed to be replaced. Wow. And once I replaced the filters, it eliminated the sickness or the symptoms I was having.
That's so good.
My allergies wasn't the problem. Yes. My allergies was the symptom.
That's so good.
If I could just fix the filter.
That's so good.
Or if I could just fix my heart.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Which is our filter.
That's so good.
It will then help our feelings become more healthier.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I love it right here in Jeremiah 17:9.
Come on, man.
It's one of the most sobering scriptures. It says, the human heart is the most deceitful of all things and desperately wicked. Who really knows how bad it is?
That's good, man.
Culture says follow your heart.
Yeah.
When God says the heart is the most deceitful. Now this has me tripping because he calls the devil throughout scripture the deceiver. And he looks at our heart in Jeremiah and said, this is the most deceitful.
Yes.
So sometimes we're blaming the devil when really we should be taking responsibility for following our own dysfunctional heart.
He preaching. He preaching. You got fired up.
I got a little toned up.
I think that's good though, because so many times we allow our emotions to drive when really they should just ride.
Oh my God.
Come on, man. Wait. Hold on. You've been stopping everybody else.
Hey.
All right, I'm gonna run that back. Many times we allow our emotions to drive when really they should just ride. Our emotions should never drive the car. They just ride in it.
Yes.
Our emotions should never drive the car. They should ride in it. You're going to always wreck when you got a dummy driving.
Yeah.
Oh.
You always gonna wreck when you got a dummy driving.
Can I jump in?
Come on, man, help me.
Because even when we talk about filter your feelings and you said our emotions shouldn't drive, they should ride.
Yeah.
Many times those emotions or those feelings come from a rejected 5-year-old version of ourselves.
Yes.
And we can end up being 35 while still allowing the 5-year-old to drive drive the car.
That's good.
That's so good. You just reminded me of something. I was letting my daughter, we'll do this thing like maybe her mom will be in the store, we'll be in the car, and so I'll put Ava on my lap and I'll let her drive. Right? Now she thinks she's driving. When truth be told, I'm really the one driving. The other day we were doing it and this lady is pulling by us in the Walmart parking lot and she's like staring, about to wreck, because she sees Ava behind the steering wheel. But I think many times that's what it looks like to God when it's like, why are you letting that old you, that hurt you, that damage you, control where you're going when I've given you the ability to shift and develop? You've got to learn how to deal with your feelings.
You said something earlier, and I'm going to throw it back at you. Because many times on social media, we can put a filter on our body. But we don't know how to put a filter over our soul. Talk to us right there, Dad.
That's so good. I think it's indicative of the culture that we live in. Right? You take a picture, and before you post that picture, you make sure it's right. You're going to put your filter on, you check your light several times, you find the right light to make sure you present your best self. And I think we'll present the best physical self to the world, but many times we don't take the time with our heart and with our emotions to present the best emotional us.
So we want to look beautiful on the outside while broken on the inside.
That's so good, man. That's so good. That's good. Listen, number 3, we got to hurry. I got to get you out of here. Lastly, you got to fix your focus. If we are going to fix the glitches in our gratitude, we've got to learn to fix our focus. The principle of gratitude suggests that what I have is just as valuable as what I want. And if I spend too much time focusing on what I don't have, then I'm unable to focus and be grateful for what I do have.
And it shows us in the text how he shows us how to fix our focus. That when we get blessed with something, gratitude is not just being grateful for what you have. It's also being grateful or showing gratitude to who gave it to you.
That's good. That's good.
I like that.
I want to speak to that real quick because you talked about the one, and that's what made the one special. He was able, I think it's a matter of priorities. When it comes to focus, our priorities are misguided.
That's good, man.
And so with this leopard didn't put the gift before the giver. You know what I'm saying? And so I've discovered when you put the gift before the giver, then it'll eventually bring you grief. And so you got to understand this because
wait.
Run that. That's good, man.
If you put the gift before the giver, it'll eventually bring you grief.
Wow.
The gift absent from the giver will bring you grief, because God never designed to bless you and then you go into this space by yourself away from him, because not only does he give it to us, but it's his job to sustain us with it.
Yes.
What's crazy about this, Pastor Curry, is that's really counterintuitive. Think about this. If I get a gift from somebody, then good sense would tell me there may be more gifts. We'll disconnect from somebody who probably had more.
Yes. Oof.
Jesus. How many times have you allowed yourself to disconnect from God after he blessed you and not even realizing if he blessed you once, what would stop him from blessing you again? Come on, man. The same God who did it before, he can do it again. I know we're out of time. We got to go, but I want you to take 30 seconds and let's thank God, because he's still the same. He cannot change. He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. If he made a way 10 years ago, he can make a way today. If he made your enemy your footstools before, what would stop him from doing it again?
I like that. I was riding the car with my son, and I looked back, and his headphones were broken. And he looked at me and he said, he looked worried, he looked frustrated. I said, James, what's wrong? He said, Dad, my headphones broke. So I got it and I snapped it back together. I gave it back to him. And of course he was excited. He had joy. His headphones were fixed. Well, a week later, his headphones broke again. But this time he wasn't worried. And this time he wasn't tripping, because he could remember a week ago, he had a problem like this and his daddy fixed it. And he just looked at me and said, Daddy, do it again. He said, Daddy, fix it again. God. Because he remembered the same God could do it again. Come on.
That's so good.
And the more grateful we are, the more generous God is.
Say that again.
The more grateful we are, the more generous God is.
I think that's it, family. When you get your focus in the right place, remember, you don't lose your focus, you misplace it. And this one Samaritan, I think he shows us how to get our focus back in the right place. He turns around and he comes back to the person who gave him the gift. And I think what God wants from us in this season is to remember who gives us the gifts. Remember who holds the world in his hand. Remember who's capable of doing anything but fail. Family, I pray that you were blessed and inspired tonight as we continue to travel through this series entitled Help for the Holidays. If you're listening tonight and you're giving your life to Christ, I want you to do me a favor. Text HOME to 28950. I pray you realize that God has so much in store for you, that the best is still yet to come. Despite what you may have done, despite what you may have lived through, it's never too late. And God, he's not done. So I want you to text HOME to 28950. We can't wait to welcome you into our community. I believe that God is going to do great things in your life. If you're giving tonight, you know how to do that. There's 3 ways you can give. It's right there on the screen. You can text to give. You can use CashApp, or you can go on our website. You'll find some giving options there. Remember, the gratitude happens in 3 phases. It begins with a feeling in our heart. It's an expression that comes out of our mouth. But lastly, it's something we give in return. Be faithful over your tithe and your offering. And don't forget, Pastor Mike has called us to something called the greatest gift. That on December 20th, we're going to make a one-time sacrificial seed as an entire church family. No matter if you're in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, wherever you may be, our global community is coming together to show God just how grateful we are for all he's brought us through. With everything we've seen in 2020, please don't tell me that you're going to be like those 9 and not turn around and tell him thank you. Listen, we love you. And we're praying for you on behalf of all of us here at Rock City, our senior pastor, Pastor Mike McClure Jr., Lady J, and all of us here. We love you. You keep on rocking, and we'll see you soon.